All in podcast talking about hospitality, talking about people, doing good things. So we've been trying to do this for like uh,
Ever?
ever. Yeah, at this point, ever. Had a couple
Probably
fumbles along the way.
2 months.
You know what I mean?
Going on 2 months
So
now.
yeah,
The
we're
first
just.
episode.
I think we just kind of overthought it a little bit, so we're just gonna kind of jump in here and
Underestimated it.
yeah.
Not like understanding what we're trying to get ourselves into.
Yeah, and just get rolling. We'll have some guests on here. We'll have random people on here, talking about hospitality.
But who are you?
Who am I?
Yeah.
I'm Big Daddy.
Big Daddy?
Yeah.
He says he's Big Daddy. That's
Yeah.
not who he actually
Yeah.
is, though. He
No.
has
Yeah.
a little bit more character.
My name is Alex Mavromatis. Hi. How are you?
It's not AA, bro.
I am an alcoholic. And a Scorpio. And no, I've been in the restaurant industry for like, I've been working in it since I was 16. But my dad, I grew up around it. My dad managed restaurants forever. I literally grew up in restaurants. You know, like everybody has their own story, which is what's cool about the hospitality industry. Also, we'll explore that. But I was one of those dudes that like, if there was no babysitter, I was in the restaurant, and the staff was watching me and feeding me, and there's a game room upstairs, and I was getting free tokens and shit. And and then it was my first job, and then it just snowballed from there.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What about you? There, go ahead.
My name is Osborne Martindale.
Uh-huh.
Ozzy. Oz. 3 names.
Yeah.
3 names all wrapped up in
Very
one.
important when you have 3 names.
Yeah. I'm not that important at all, though.
You are.
I've been cooking. First time I remember cooking is when I was about 8 years old. In restaurants, I've been cooking since I was about 16. No formal training. So I've been in the restaurant industry for about 4.5 years now.
How long?
4.5 years.
4.5.
Yeah. Seen a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Had an idea of what I was getting myself into. Had my expectations of what I was getting myself into, because when I was learning to cook as a kid, I saw people smile when they ate my food, make people happy, and that's what I want to do professionally. I decided I could understand recipes and I understand cooking techniques, and that's just what I want to do professionally. You know, make people happy, make people smile. And I had certain expectations going into the industry, having those expectations change, getting hit in the face with what is really in the industry now, not understanding what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of my background, is just starting very young, especially we're in 2020 now. 4 years ago, that's 2016. Yeah, 2016. And that was at the end of a change of the rock star era of cooking and chefs into this family style oriented. Your restaurant is each individual restaurant or company in a restaurant and hospitality, front of the house, back of the house, from everybody's rock star and it's survival of the fittest and it's the Wild Wild West, into we're each other's family and team, and we slave around each other for 12, 13, 14-hour days. We have to learn how to work together and actually push our goal as a restaurant, team, family unit all together, instead of just being I can cook more steaks than you.
Yeah, I'm the best.
Suck it.
I'm the best. It's common goal, dude. Common goal.
Absolutely.
Common goal. You know, it's like your back house team has a common goal to cook food, to have a good attitude, in a timely fashion.
Which isn't always achieved.
Yeah.
Which is not achieved as easily as some might think, and not as often as some might think.
Oh no, yeah, you have to have skilled people in there, and you have to be. You just got to be on. You got to be relentless all the time. You know.
Yeah.
And then that's why the hours are so crazy too. Because it's like, the food has to get prepped somehow.
Yep.
Food has to come in the restaurant somehow. Then it has to, and then you don't want shit in the restaurant, So you got to check it. You got to make sure everything's cool. You're dealing with perfect. But the important thing is, from the time way before the doors open, depending if you're a dinner or lunch property, you're dealing with people constantly. You're dealing with your purveyors constantly. Calling them the night before, telling them what you need to be brought in. They come in, hey, what's up? How you doing? Blah, blah, blah. You develop relationships with them. Then, and whether you like it or not, if you have a good relationship with your purveyors, your shit's probably going to be better than other people.
That's one of the first things that one of the first lessons I learned. That's like, it's a chef's job, sous chef's job, manager, whatever. It's their job. One of their jobs is securing produce, securing meats, proteins, like securing good quality stuff and knowing where to look and find and identify that.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't just being able to go into a grocery store and see the fruit that has no blemishes on it or see the chicken that isn't sticky and slimy.
Right.
But that means being able to talk to farmers, being able to talk to cattle herders, being able to talk to people that know different species of plants, just to understand how to make the best food possible. Like, we work in the industry where, like, artists take a whole lifetime to make a masterpiece, and that lasts forever. We work in the industry where we try to make a masterpiece that will last 5, 10, 15 minutes on your table, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
And we have to make the exact same masterpiece 100, 200, 300, 400 times a night.
Yeah. With multiple ingredients.
Yeah.
Multiple people. Multiple time frames.
With a lot more moving parts.
yeah. And, to speak on that, and, like I said, this is going to be a lot about what
Sorry,
drinking.
I'm excited because last time we did
record.
this, I didn't press record.
Yeah.
It was really good, and I'm just looking at the recorder right now.
It's still recording.
It's still ticking,
We're
and
going.
it's still recording, and it's real.
We had a bomb-ass podcast last time, too.
Anyways,
we were both super proud of it. 45 minutes or so, no record, but that's okay.
You're talking about masterpiece.
Yeah.
Cooks working to make masterpiece.
Right. So, and we're going to talk about a lot of different things. Like I said, we're just kind of spitballing here, but that masterpiece, working hard, being consistent, having the drive to do it, that takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of effort, and that can affect your relationships with people outside of the restaurant, outside of the hotel, the food truck, the bar, whatever it is that you're putting yourself into. And people can become frustrated with you. Girlfriends, boyfriends, moms, dads, brothers, sisters, kids, if you have kids, and you're working a lot of hours and you're working a lot of days in the restaurant, and you need to try to remedy that with people, because at the end of the day, that's what's important, is our connection with people. But that's what we're doing too. We're creating experiences for people when we create these masterpieces for you, when we create a dining experience for you, when you can escape your bullshit problems for an hour or two, have a glass of good wine paired with a good steak or whatever it may be. And people like us in the hospitality industry, that's what, I can't not do that shit. I really can't not. And I have a kid, and I have people that I care about outside, and me working all these hours does affect them. And not that I don't, it's just, I can't, what else am I supposed to do? You know what I mean? I can't not do it. I think that's how a lot of us feel. It's like, the money's great if you're, serving, bartending, quick, fast cash all the time.
If you're
all the time
in the hospitality restaurant industry and you are a job working as you're in a mid-tier to higher level restaurant facility, and you're a tipped employee there, your server, bartender, What else? Is there any other tips?
I mean, even food runners make good money.
Anything that's
And there.
tipped there.
Yeah. Bussers, essays.
As long as you're busy, you're good. You're solid.
Yeah.
It's actually one of the most annoying things to hear as a cook that somebody made $200 on their night, and that's low for them on a tip night, because we don't care. We make the same amount no matter what.
Yeah.
As cooks, on hourly pay, we make the same no matter what.
Yeah.
We get it. On your slow nights, you make $50 a night,
Mm-hmm.
but on your busy nights, you could walk away with like up to like $500.
Oh, sure.
It's
yeah.
like
Yeah,
us,
even
we're
higher
just like,
depending on what happens.
we still made our $60 tonight.
You know, so all you servers out there that appreciate your cooks and are vocal about it, and there's a lot of you. There's a lot of them that are like, man, I know these dudes work, and I appreciate them. And
well, because they know if they take care of us, we're gonna take care of them.
We give them food.
Yeah, we give them food.
And servers are all vultures. You're all a bunch of goddamn vultures. Every time food hits the table or something's dead, it gets devoured in minutes. I see some of you eating off of people's plates, and you know who you are.
Yeah,
you all know who you are.
You're disgusting.
It's disgusting.
Disgusting.
It's disgusting.
We're surprised you haven't died yet.
But, I don't know. Maybe if they're like an attractive person, maybe
has
maybe
some disease
it's fine.
now.
Who knows?
Some
Whatever.
disease, you should probably go get checked out.
Yeah. Brush your teeth after your shift.
Filthy.
Yeah, but it's fun. I mean, there's a lot of stuff we're going to talk about.
And
the relationships with people, like we were talking about, the hours put in, food. I'm excited to get both of us have a couple people that we want to get in here. We've talked to them. Everybody's pretty pumped about it. I think there's a lot of different stories that you're going to come by. Talking about how they got there, why they stay there, if they got out, why they got out. Because a lot of people do that too. And even people that get out of the restaurant industry, they will never forget that shit. They never forget restaurant jobs. You just don't forget restaurant jobs.
And to get into your point of like time spent, relationships getting tugged on every which way, what you're doing in a restaurant. There's a certain kind of person that's attracted to hard things, and then there's a certain kind of person that's attracted to. It just turns out that restaurant work, whether it be front of house, back of house, serving, hosting, bartending, cooking, being a chef, a supervisor, advisor, you're regional, it doesn't matter. You have the idea, especially if you're in high level restaurants, that you're doing what you love, or you're doing a part of what you love. And that's very hard to balance because, like, for me, I started working in restaurants when I was 16, and I decided that's what I want to do. I worked my butt off. Like, for first 3 years I worked in a restaurant, I was like, I'm gonna work all the time. I worked 12-hour days. I would make whatever. I'd like prep the hardest. All my prep was done, so that way I could cook and do all this other stuff. But I worked dinners. So, and this is also when I was still in high school. So I'd go to school, get off school. Luckily, school was easy for me, so I didn't have to pay too much attention to that. Go to work my butt off, get home. I wouldn't even see my family because I was gone all day, and then I went to work. Mm-hmm. And then I would wake up before I would see any of the rest of my family, go to school, come back, say hi, bye, go to work. And at work, I'm making food for anywhere from one person to, I'm making food for 600 people now.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's not that I didn't love my family, or the nights where I couldn't talk to my girlfriend, or the times where I said, I'd rather be at work than hang out with my friends some days.
Right.
But it's just like, I love that stuff.
Yeah.
And thankfully, not everybody has this. I was lucky enough to have supportive people in my life. But they're like, you're doing what you want, you're doing what you love, and what you want to pursue as a career, that's great. Go do that. And we're going to be back here, and we'll always be back here if you want us.
Yeah, that's solid, too.
Unfortunately, a lot of people don't have that. And that's like, I can only say I'm sorry for you guys.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about relationships being pulled at, kids, if you have a kid, Alex could talk about this more. it's very different for you guys because it's not like you're leaving the nest. You are the nest. You have to make sure that things are okay at home and taking care of that and
Yeah.
whatnot.
It's rough. I mean, I can remember. I can remember being a kid, and my dad managed restaurants ever since I can remember. And fuck, I can remember being a kid and waiting up for him to come home just
Oh,
to see him.
yeah.
Like just sitting up late at night, sneak out of my bed, or if it was a weekend night, I'd run around with my brothers. We'd fuck off, and then they'd go to sleep, and I would stay up, like fight sleep, stay up, sitting on the couch, because my dad would bring me home a cup of these cherries that I loved. From Max and Irma's.
What, like
Shout out to
cherries
Max
or
and Irma's.
something?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Just like those like food dyed cherries. But they're so good.
Nuclear chemical.
Yeah,
ray.
yeah. Kill you cherries.
Yeah.
But dude, I would
Give
just
you
sit
cancer.
up and like watch like oh dude,
SpongeBob.
I Love Lucy.
Oh,
That's
okay.
old. That's old for me too. I'm 30.
Isn't it about like a dog or something?
No, Ozzy, not at all. I Love Lucy. You're thinking of Lassie.
Lassie. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't put your phone on silent, man. It's
Dude, it's blowing
distracting
up.
me.
It's blown up. We posted it on the Instagram, and people are hitting up my
Oh, for real?
yeah on the we posted our little hospitality debut on Instagram, and follow us by the way on Instagram. What is it? What's the podcast, Ozzy?
All
What is it?
in hospitality podcast.
Yeah, all in underscore, right?
Yeah, the underscore hospitality podcast.
Cool. So yeah, we'll start shooting following things. I feel like maybe, but
Yeah.
people are reacting. We posted it on the story. Like I said, we've been talking about this for a while. I've been like putting feelers out, and we're in a really good area of restaurants to where there's like a really tight community. So everybody's pretty pumped for it.
Yeah.
Because it's a good thing. It's a positive thing. It's something that all of us are doing. A very positive outlet of community,
We
really.
need to talk about this, and you might want to understand what's going on behind the doors at your local restaurant.
Oh yeah.
So that way you know how not to be a jerk and how to make, like, the people that are making your food and making your day better, you might be able to make our day better too. You don't have to.
No.
But
No.
it's
We're here
out
for
of-
you at the
out
end of
of-
the day.
Respect for your common people person.
Yeah. But if you've ever seen Waiting, there's a very, very famous line in that movie that says, "Don't fuck with the people that make your food." Maybe that was it. Maybe it wasn't.
I think that's what.
Paraphrasing.
Yeah.
Paraphrasing.
But
If we
still.
quote, we'll probably get sued or something anyway. So if it's fine. If I messed
I
it
think
up.
we could quote.
Who
I think
knows?
we could quote.
Um,
We're not gonna be that popular.
no,
anyways.
no. I mean, I will.
Oh, you think?
Yeah,
you will?
I'm just kidding. But back to my dad. I can just remember sitting up waiting for him to come home, wanting to see him, and all these things. But where I'm going with that is we were talking about relationships with people and how hard it is to work in the industry. You create these relationships with people in the industry now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not that they replace your family. Nobody can replace your family, but they become your family. They become your closest friend. This is how I met Oz.
And
Working
also
in a
just
restaurant,
because
you
you
know?
spend so much time with them.
Yeah,
Like,
and you're in stressful situations with people, and you meet crazy ass people, and you meet intellectual people. I have met some of the smartest, caring, funny, intellectual people working in a restaurant. Old hippie cooks, just shooting off wisdom. I mean, it's crazy. It's great. And now I have a kid, and it's harder for me because I don't live with my daughter. But so, she's going through the phases now of like, oh, when am I gonna see you? Like, you work so much, Dad. Like, blah blah blah. I hate your job. This is what she said to me last weekend, Ozzy. Because I was trying to prep her, because I'm getting ready to do
open
it.
a new restaurant,
Yeah, do a restaurant opening, and it's like
which
you know,
is hard. I've been there
hard.
twice.
Hard.
Been there twice.
Mentally and physically hard. And I was prepping her. She's 6, and I'm like, babe, like, I gotta open up a restaurant again, so I know we don't get much time with it, and she's in school too, so it's like I can't pop over and see her in the morning. She's in school. Restaurants, That's a fucking night gig, turns out. You know, weekends and nights, long nights and weekends,
Holidays.
holidays, New Year's Eve, Mother's
Birthday
Day.
parties.
Like, boom, we can talk. That'll be a whole episode in itself. But she's like, oh, man, I hate your job, Dad. And I was just like, ugh, I did this for you. I got this job for you. Do you hate your toys? Huh? Do you hate the roof over your head? But it broke my heart. I mean,
It's
so that, that's where I'm going. But the people that do this are just wired a little differently. I'm not sitting at a desk fighting rush hour traffic to and from work, eating lunch at the time I'm supposed to be told to eat, just clicking away on a computer at some freaking job that I don't really care about. It doesn't spark my interest. It doesn't spark my creativity. It's just like, this is what I do. That's just it.
You have to be hands-on with something.
Yeah.
Hands-on. Like, and it's so weird because I experienced this today, and I don't think I understood this until today, but I always have that feeling. So, we had brunch today, and brunch is like, it doesn't matter where you work. If you work in a city and your restaurant does brunch, it's a different beast.
Oh.
No matter what.
100.
It's
100.
It's different from breakfast, it's different from lunch,
100.
and it's different from dinner.
100.
Brunch is its own weird, twisted, sick, nasty little torture device made just
100.
to hurt people.
Yes.
That work.
It's
brunch.
the craziest thing ever.
And you
Brunch,
realize
brunch
that, like,
brunch eating sons of bitches.
if you work, if this is your first time trying to understand this, ticket systems, and you get tickets and they tell you what you need to make, right? 30 seconds with your hand in a pan, on a pan flipping food, or you firing food, or salting a piece of fish or anything like that, 30 seconds doing that task is 5 minutes doing anything else.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, at brunch, everything cooks quickly, and everything gets cold quickly.
and everything has to be done perfectly.
Yeah, and for some reason,
And look pretty so people can take freaking Instagram
brunch
pictures.
pictures of it with their drinks. And I don't understand what it is, but for some reason, brunch, like, everybody just thinks the whole goddamn thing is just one big build-your-own brunch buffet. Every dish. I'll have the egg. Oh, you have an omelet with red peppers, ham, caramelized onions, a little bit of rosemary.
Can I
That
get my
sounds
rosemary
nice.
substituted with thyme? And can I
Yeah.
get those red peppers with actually jalapeno peppers and a
Yeah.
ham?
Uh-huh.
I want bacon and sausage.
Yeah,
instead.
and I'm
Can I
on
get
a
white
diet.
cheddar?
Egg whites, please. Egg white omelet. Egg white.
What?
Egg.
Egg white omelets, worst omelets cooked
Yeah.
ever. Period. There's no fat to help denaturize a protein. So, like, when you cook, you need a fat as an intermediate, and then one of the great things about fat when you cook is that it helps things get hotter. Like, you can raise the temperature of the individual thing hotter.
Without dissolving what you're trying to raise.
Right. So, when you, let's say when you have an egg and you're cooking an egg, right? That egg yolk is fat. And so, the egg yolk, when it emulsifies in with the egg white, helps to cook everything evenly and helps keep those proteins, like, just far enough apart so that way it doesn't get watery and it can set up. When you take that yolk out, it's just proteins. And you're trying to whisk this thing and emulsify this thing in, and it just wants to crumble and break.
It just turns into foam. It just turns into foam. And if you whisk it hard enough,
you get meringue.
It's stiff. I made meringue today.
Oh.
But I had a whisk. A little mixer.
Yeah, brunch is one of the worst things I've ever done. In my life.
Brunch is crazy. And all around.
We just have to make meringue for today.
From the food, for brunch, actually.
What do you have to do?
There's a brunch item, and it's basically fried peanut butter jelly bites. So you have your little peanut butter jelly bites already made up. You make them the day before.
Dehydrated peanut butter into meringue.
No. So you just make like a peanut butter jelly sandwich.
Oh,
straight up, and then cook it for a little bit, and you press it overnight, let it sit, and then you cut it into little bites, like little squares.
Huh.
Deep fried. Little deep fried peanut butter and jelly bites. Little fucking meringue swoosh. Little brulee meringue on there. It's pretty tasty.
That'd be good. Take some like peanut butter powder, throw it into some egg whites, make a meringue, bake that off, and
It'd be
then
pretty tasty.
do like I don't know, like a fluid gel
We were
dish.
you could do some really cool shit like you're talking about with tapioca maltodextrin.
Oh yeah, that's really good. That's
Yeah.
really good. Stabilizer.
Tapioca maltodextrin takes any fat and
It just suspends it.
Yeah, turns it into powder basically.
Yeah.
Just water, it won't do shit. Fats.
Yeah. Just
So, we do like chorizo. You know, any oil. Like if you steep something in oil, think of
Right.
it that way. You could cook
make
chorizo in oil, jalapeno, make jalapeno oil or
make
whatever,
flavored oil powder.
and then bam, you have powder like jalapeno powder.
Yeah.
You know, chorizo powder.
Delicious.
Yeah, rosemary powder. I don't fucking know, whatever. But that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I got a buddy. We're gonna bring him on here. He's really into just the science and chemistry of food. Super knowledgeable dude.
I did a tasting menu where we did a raspberry coulis, and then we did we use xanthan gum to suspend it,
Yeah.
make it nice and thick.
Yeah, we use xanthan gum at the spot.
Downtown. Yeah.
Yeah, both mine and yours.
Okay.
They just started using xanthan gum for a drink, which is a little doesn't make sense. Something that goes in the drink. I'm not sure exactly what.
Yeah. But I did a tasting menu and I used raspberry coulis and I took Parmesan and I whipped it into egg whites and I made cheese puffs.
Oh, nice, dude.
And then I would split the cheese puffs, pipe them full, like probably with a half teaspoon of raspberry coulis in there.
Mm-hmm.
Glue them back together, and then that went on your plate with a crisp on it,
Oh, nice.
like an apple crisps. So it was a Parmesan raspberry. It was a Parmesan puff with a raspberry inside, and a dehydrated apple crisp on it.
That sounds pretty good.
It wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I started
It
fucking
was a little
around with.
tricky. Took me 2 weeks to figure out the recipe how to do it.
Oh, sure. Trial and error,
Oh yeah.
bunch of stuff. That's something that I gotta do with the spot I'm at now. They do a lot of stuff like that, and I'm like, I haven't really done all that yet, you know? But, I mean, it is what it is. It just takes practice. But, yeah. I mean, I feel like we're going to try to put these podcasts out pretty frequently. There's no reason why we can't. We just score like a half hour here and there, you know?
Yeah.
You know, and some of it we're going to rant about food here and there. You know, Ozzy and I are both cooks, you know. We want to bring front of house in, bartenders in. I mean, I have a little I would like to bring in some food writer, bloggers, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whatever. And we're just going to talk about again, what it's like, what we do, how it affects relationships, how it affects our lives, how we got in, why we stay, drugs, alcohol addictions within the industry, coping mechanisms. Ooh, was that your phone, Oz? Did I catch some shit earlier from you about my phone? And now your phone is going off right now, Oz?
Yeah.
Is that what's happening?
I'm putting it on.
Is that the thing?
I'm putting it on silent.
That's
right
what's
now.
going down in the
I'm
streets?
sorry, bro. But no, like think about it like this. If you see
This guy, this is every day with him.
think about it. If you see Gordon Ramsay, Guy Fieri, Chef's Table on Netflix, if you all these cooking shows and all these stories, Marcus Pierre White, you see all these guys and you like have this idea of a hospitality chef industry, kitchen rest industry. That's what we're here to talk about. We're here to open it up, realize that we're people too. We're not always the face that we put on. The stories, friendships, relationships that are formed behind closed walls that you'll never see because we're trying to give you the best breakfast, lunch, dinner, morning, afternoon, evening, night out that you can have.
Hell yeah. 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 And the people that do that, there's a lot of us, a lot of us that are currently doing it, previously have done it, or want to get into it. And there's no centralized conversation. And we're just opening it up. So, you know, we're just gonna see where it goes. And I mean, if it doesn't go anywhere, which it probably won't, who the hell knows? At least, you know, people can gather around a table, have some drinks or whatever, and we can just talk what we like to talk about. You know,
Yeah.
talk about restaurants.